I'd like to call the Town of Lake Mills public hearing to order and a special meeting of the electors. It is Tuesday, November 10th, 2020, 7 p.m. Call the public hearing of the 2021 proposed budget to order. The notice was posted at the town hall and also on the town's website. I would like to open the floor to the public for a discussion of the proposed 2021 budget.
No?
I've got copies over there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how much you want to discuss it.
It's also on the website?
It's on, yes, that is posted on the website.
Okay.
And I could put a PDF of the full budget on the website if the board would like me to. All that's required by law is what's printed on that hearing.
Go ahead.
So
Right.
the budget will be including the Cambridge Fire Department improvements. Is that part of the budget?
No,
Not
yet. Not yet. We will be discussing that a little further down the line. Is that on our agenda?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And we have a letter that we're going to send, so a good question, though. Are there any questions about the proposed budget?
It will show that our levy or our general property taxes are going up from last year, but that's because we had the reassessment done. But then the general levy amount that the town will put out for taxes will be going down, which doesn't show necessarily on this because it's the different levy amount. So last year's levy amount was basically $11.05 per $1,000 of assessment. And this year, for the 2020 taxes, it'll be $10.53 per $1,000 of assessment.
All right. Any other discussion or questions on the proposed budget? Hearing none. Oh, I guess what I need is a motion from the floor to approve the town budget.
And that would be from either electors or,
I make a motion to approve based on what I've heard last time.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Sharon?
All right, thank you, Sharon. All in favor of approving the budget as proposed, please say aye. Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. Thank you very much. Budget is passed. Moving on. I'd like to call to order a special meeting of the electors. The notice was published at the town hall and also on the town's website. Discussion to approve the total year 2021 highway expenditures pursuant to section 81.013 of Wisconsin state statutes.
So the total highway budget for the 2021 budget will be $203,254.71, sorry. That does include $6,400 for ditch mowing, $116,84.71 for highway maintenance, and $80,000 for snow removal.
And what was that number again? Sorry. 203.
203, 254.71. And that's on that printout I gave you on the,
Printout.
after the
Yes.
workshop, yep.
Sorry.
It's okay. I should have probably maybe,
Fogged up.
Is there any discussion on the proposed expenditures in the highway department? Item 3 on the agenda, discussion to adopt the 2020 town tax levy to be paid in 2021 pursuant to section 60.101A of Wisconsin statutes.
and
Let's
that
back
was,
up a second. We have to approve.
We have to approve the highway expenditures.
yep.
So you need a motion. Move in second.
What's your first name again? Lynn, okay, thank you.
I second it.
All right.
Okay.
All in favor of approving the total 2021 highway expenditures, please say aye. Aye. And all opposed, the same sign. Now, the discussion of the tax levy to be paid in 2021 pursuant to section 60.
And that is the .001053002.
I will motion to approve, to adopt the 2020 town tax levy.
Second.
Thank you, David. Is there any discussion on this? All in favor? Please signify by saying aye. Aye. And all opposed, the same sign. Thank you, the tax levy is passed. I would then entertain a motion to adjourn the special meeting of the electors.
I so moved.
I'll
Thank
second.
you, Lynn.
Thank you. The meeting is adjourned. That was very good of you, good public participation. Now, let's call to order the regular meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Lake Mills. It's November 10th, 2020. It's shortly after 7 p.m. The notice for this meeting was posted at the Town Hall and also on the town's website. Item 2 is the adoption of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda as printed.
Second.
Is it-
Back on that podium, right over there. Yep.
Good question.
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
Dave.
Dave
Dave.
did? Okay, thank you.
We have a motion on the floor to adopt the agenda. All in favor of approving the agenda as published, please say aye. Aye. And all opposed, the same sign. The agenda is adopted. Item 3, approval of the minutes. We have a correction from the September monthly minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the amendment to the September 9th, 2020 meeting, which changes the size of that culvert from 15-inch to 18-inch for the address W8311 Bridle Path. That was the motion, correct, Dave?
Right, it was correct,
Okay.
yes.
So you want to make sure those minutes are corrected because,
Yeah.
well, there was a letter sent out.
Yeah,
with
that's
these
corrected now,
amendments.
yep.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion on that?
Did you feel that that change, that time was incorrect at the top? I can look into that?
Well, I thought we were starting our annual meeting at 6. It was a total disaster, but I may be wrong. I thought we were starting
I
at 6.
thought it was
because-
quite late that we finally got around to starting the regular meeting. I have 7:55 on there.
Probably.
Okay. Do you guys recall? what
Don't
time
worry
it
about
was?
Yeah, you have 7:55 on
It
there.
was dark, that's
It
all.
was dark
And cold.
And cold and rainy.
and rainy
Yeah.
and windy.
Yeah.
It was a disaster, all right. Just let that one ride. We have a
Okay.
correction or a motion on the floor.
You have a second?
Yeah, I seconded it.
Dave did.
All in favor of approving the corrections to the September monthly minutes, please say aye. Aye. And all opposed, the same sign. The minutes are corrected. Item 4,
Now we need to do
October.
October.
I make a motion to approve the October 2020 meeting minutes.
Second.
October 13th, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is there any discussion?
I'll add the day on there. It was the 13th, October 13th minutes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, all in favor of approving the minutes from the October meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same sign. Thank you very much. The minutes are approved. Approval of the treasurer's report.
You have to make that amendment first.
Okay,
Make a motion to amend the October 2020 disbursements from $58,987.55 to $58,994.95. Difference of $7.40.
Second.
is there any discussion? Hearing none, and all in favor of approving the amended balance? Please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, same sign. Thank you, Sharon.
I'll make a motion to approve the November treasurer's report.
Second.
Is there any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the November 2020 treasurer's report, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. Treasurer's report is approved.
Okay.
Item A in the treasurer's report, a discussion and/or decision of the treasurer's bond for 2020 tax collections.
How much?
No, we have to do the disbursements for November yet.
That's the next,
Yeah, that's the next one.
next one, item 5D.
We're on 4A.
How much is the treasurer's bond?
We don't know the amount for the county
Okay.
quite yet.
Oh,
So
yeah.
do we use last year's as a estimate and then add the difference of what our levy will be that she's collecting? Because it's obviously there was an increase there.
Yes,
Okay,
because we really have to get moving on it.
yeah, we really should. So
Um,
she has it in place.
So how do you want to word this motion? I would
To estimate,
move to provide the treasurer's bond for the 2020 tax collections from an estimate of last year's costs.
that will work.
Well, we kind of figured 356, that was last year's, just so we can get this going.
Yeah,
And I have it on the disbursement sheet.
For the amount of the actual cost of the bond, but the bond itself should be a certain amount to
Oh,
cover,
oh,
is what we
okay.
need to figure out.
Oh, all right.
Tax levy is
Right, the tax levy amounts.
420,
But we also have to cover, the
450,000.
right, we also have to cover the county's tax levy, which we don't know
Oh,
the full amount yet. So,
all right. I'll
So,
second the motion.
all right. Now, is there any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll trust you ladies to go forward on that. I think it's important. All in favor of approving the treasurer's bond for 2020, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same sign. Thank you for working on that, ladies. Item 5, approval of the general fund vouching.
I make a motion to approve November's disbursements of $75,986.90.
Second the motion.
Is there any questions or discussion? My only comment would be, we're very happy to have survived the 2020 election.
we did.
And I think we did that in good shape. I appreciate all the extra time you put in, Robin, and all of your poll workers. Their paychecks are all on this list of disbursements.
And we also had a lot that volunteered their time as well. They didn't want to get paid for their
And
services.
lots of good help, young and old. So thank you. It was a trying time, but it turned out very well.
It was really smooth.
The one thing that you'll see, just want to bring up quick, at the next revenue sheet that you see for next month is we did get the money for that $5,000 grant also. So to cover the cost of the new booths and other supplies. So that came in.
That was like a Christmas gift.
So
Why don't you tell the public where that funding came from?
it came from the Center of Tech and Civic Life, and it's a grant that they put out due to the COVID situation in helping support the election processes during the COVID. So things we can use it for were new drop boxes for the ballots, drive-through voting if we had that, PPEs, new polling booths that are easier to clean for sanitation, all the way down to like just the extra cost of all the absentee processing, postage, envelopes, all that. So it was a nice grant,
A Christmas gift.
and it was very easy to apply for, so.
Well, thanks for applying for it.
Yes, thank you.
It was worth a few minutes, so.
And so a vote on disbursements. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And all opposed, the same sign. The general funding vouching is carried, and thank you very much for your service. Item 6, reports. A, Police Chief Miller.
We had 52 hours of patrol for October, handled several complaints. Spent 4.5 hours on those complaints. Total traffic stops were 29, 2 repair notices, 6 traffic warnings, 25 traffic citations were issued, 15.5 hours of stationary radar, 2 ordinance tickets, 4 residence and business checks, 17 park checks, and 4 extra patrols monitored, one of them being obviously the speed enforcement, and that's on our agenda, I see. Woodfield, they've been out there. Also, the last meeting we had, complaint reference possible junk vehicles on Beatty's property out there on B. Sergeant Kevin Miller went out there on the 22nd and did issue a notice to get those removed or enclosed. And he is working with them to get them taken care of. So the notice was issued by him.
Hey, Matt, with the enclosure part, I know Mrs. Thomas called yesterday and asked about the metal framing that's going up for the temporary. Is that considered enclosed when they use those temporary shelters?
Yeah, we run across those before. The answer to that is, I talked to the sergeant on that, and he feels it would meet the ordinance
Okay,
once we're at a site
okay.
and they're in some type of enclosure.
I noticed it too. Thank you. Thanks, Matt, and thank you for having your staff here to help with the election.
No problem.
Appreciate that. Item B, Planning Commission report. Jim?
We didn't have a meeting, so no, there were nobody applied for any zoning changes, so. we didn't meet.
I did speak with Corey Horton, our town's engineer, yesterday, and he will have ready for you in December your
Draft.
ordinance revisions, so he would like to work with you. If we decide not to have a December meeting for any reason, we'll need to make sure he gets noticed on that, otherwise he'll be
For
here.
the plan commission, right?
And what just skipped my brain here. Oh, I was going to ask the question, the oaks and vines
Yeah.
material came through on an email. There was a suggestion made by Mr. Nass, our planning committee chair, to have that reviewed by our building inspector.
Yeah, I think
The
he's
fire
done.
department.
Do you think there is any need to have our town's engineer review that?
According to Steve, I don't know when that was all approved. I
I
don't,
don't either.
do you recall? It must have been done a few years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Whoa, we didn't, they were still going through some engineering. I don't think we've ever seen their engineering for, as far as square foot PSI and bathrooms and,
No, we dealt with, and Steve is correct, we dealt with the conditional use and the rezoning
and the liquor license.
at that time. Well, I don't think we dealt with the liquor license.
No, I don't.
I don't have any record of anything regarding.
Well, we
that.
didn't give it
Maybe
to them, but we did
discussed it.
talk about it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you're
We
right.
have one available, so.
So the conditional use and zoning's all approved for that?
But they've never come before the plan commission or the town board for any site review or commercial, it's a commercial building, right?
Yeah.
They never got any,
Chris
parking?
might be able to fill you in a little bit.
they
that,
never got any
right?
permits for anything either.
Nothing.
They never got any permits for anything.
Yeah, so they're in the state plan review process, so today I received the preliminary plans for me to review. I had to sign off on the fact that the building will be unsprinkled, so the fire chief and I signed off on it, on a condition statement, so that the state could review the plans. I do have a set of plans in the file if you guys want to know.
Do you think we should have our town's engineer look at it?
What would be the concern?
Well, I don't know, I guess it's a different kind of a building than we're used to.
It's an existing ag building that will have an addition put on it, a couple deck structures. So-
You don't feel that that should come under the plan commission's ordinance that states that commercial buildings need site review and for parking lot, plantings, lighting? I know they don't have any of that stuff, but still they should have come.
I believe if that's what your plan commission ordinance says, then absolutely it should be.
Well, it does, but it's kind of a little late now. They've already got plans into the state for review. But I guess I wasn't around, so when it so happened, I guess I'm kind of wondering myself why it never went through the plan commission for any of this commercial building design, which we do have an ordinance on.
Yeah.
I know the process started over a year ago, so it's been
It
over
must
a
have been
year.
more than a
since-
year.
Yeah, more
2
than a
years
year,
ago.
A couple years ago?
couple years.
Okay. This is the first I actually saw it.
Harley started it, right?
They haven't started it yet, they don't have any permits. There's
yeah.
no-
Harley was toying with it, but he was kind of always bumping his head a little bit with the county on, size of leach beds and all that stuff.
So you don't think the plan commission ever looked at it for the parking lot and all the stuff that Jim had mentioned?
No, we never seen any of that stuff.
I guess I'm kind of wondering how they even get by at the state level if they don't have any parking lot. showing.
Well,
I mean, they have a lot of gravel out there, but
I guess, does Jefferson County zoning work with the plan commission here for permitting? So how do they get
For
their zoning?
approval.
only for zoning. Good question. How did they get?
Yeah, and I don't know about the conditional use.
I'm not pointing any fingers at anybody, I'm just saying if that's the process, that should have been handled through that zoning. You shouldn't have gotten a zoning permit without that process, so.
Well, I think we need to find out where the county is at with it and then go from there.
Yeah, I do not have a zoning permit. So all I got today was that preliminary plan that I had to sign off on and the fire chief signed off on, so.
Yeah, that was state review though.
That
So,
goes, that's for state review, so if they don't have a zoning permit yet, then you'd have a shot at it for sure then.
Yeah,
Or
they
you
would-
can go backwards on it, I mean, whatever.
you wouldn't issue a building permit without a,
I can't issue a permit without a zoning permit.
that's right.
okay.
So, okay. you still-
All right, we'll check on this. Do we have a contact number in that for the Crossman?
I think
mean,
so.
for the-
Yeah, I think
Is
there's
it the
some.
Crossmans we're dealing with?
Crossman,
Or-
Hofstein's,
Yeah.
Loki's are all kind of,
Can you come up with a phone number for me? Because I think we should open the door here and talk with them. Figure out what we're gonna do next. Thank you for your work on that. Moving on, Cambridge Fire and EMS report. David?
Nothing to report, we have a meeting later this month, so there's nothing new other than what's on the agenda.
Get your arm twisted today?
Twice.
Capsner didn't call you?
No.
Yeah, he said he wasn't going to. And I told him I
Told him stay away from him, he's an ornery.
No, that wasn't it. He sounded like he had talked so much that he was like talked out because he was getting kind of hoarse in the phone.
Okay,
What was he after?
well, he wants us to borrow that money individually. and
Well,
I told him we should talk to you.
Yeah. I had talked to Gene about your suggestion, Jim. So then he got back to me today, and he also called Hope after he learned what he needed to do, and it is possible. The commission, because we did, lease, the fire truck, that we can, as a commission, borrow the money. And then use the payment for the station as part of the charge to the municipalities.
Right.
But the problem with it is we lose the municipality discount, which is 2%. So that would equivalent to be quite a bit of money. So that's the downfall.
But they can borrow the money, they just can't borrow it at a better rate. But I'm pretty sure they can get a pretty decent rate at this point in time.
oh boy.
Mortgage rates are very low.
And I'm sure in our next meeting, as I think it's like the third week in November, that we'll probably be discussing that because I was kind of leaning on Gene to put it on the agenda.
We did have a short discussion about a referendum. And I asked him point blank where Cambridge, the village of Cambridge was at. They're talking about doing a referendum. Their discussion is binding or non-binding. So they're not really sure. He feels that he has good support from all the other municipalities. It's just the village that's hanging on, so. Just bringing it up to date here.
Yep, that's kind of been the way.
I don't have a problem with the town, except I just feel it would be a lot more fair if it were done by the commission. And
Yeah, I do
They did it just like the city of Lake Mills. You pay that percentage every year on it. Then we wouldn't even have to mess with
Yeah, it would be a lot cleaner.
resolution or anything. It's a lot cleaner for us.
Yep. And that's what I was telling Gene too. It'd be so much cleaner for all the municipalities.
Yeah.
And it's simple. And so anyway, I'm sure we'll talk some more about it, but.
Yeah, it's on the
Anyways.
agenda later.
The only other question is, the resolution that I read has a 10-year loan, and there's no way we're gonna borrow. We need 20 year. So I'm kinda wondering, can we borrow money from the state trust fund for 20 years?
I think
Or do we
it's,
have to go through
I don't think so.
I don't think it's.
No, their terms are different.
Yeah, I know
I
that.
think 10 years is the max, isn't it?
Well, see, that's a problem.
So,
Instead of 15,000 extra a year, it'd be 30.
Yeah.
Probably.
Right.
Somewhere's around there.
it's another loan to manage too.
Anyway, I guess.
Yeah, I really don't want to do it either, so it's good we're having this discussion.
Right.
Item D, a Joint Rock Lake Committee report. I have not seen their minutes and did not attend their meetings.
It was on Zoom with them. There wasn't a lot that they discussed. It was pretty short, so.
Okay. And Public Works, I haven't talked with John. I will. I see he's getting an refund on his occupancy permit. I'll need to talk to him before he leaves town. All right, item 7, applications. Discussion and/or decision of a request for operators licenses for Crowville Oasis. And what did I do with those? No, they're in here somewhere. We have an application for Aurora A. Westerberg for the Crowville Oasis.
Linnea.
Linnea McIntosh at the Crowville Oasis. And Lindsay Waymeyer at the Crowville Oasis. I would motion to.
Did you check all these
Yeah.
out, Matt?
I did, and there was nothing that would alert me to not.
I would motion then to grant operators licenses to these 3 ladies at the Crowville Oasis. Is there any discussion? Thank you, Matt, for doing the background check.
Sure.
All in favor of approving the operator's license, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. The licenses are granted. Item 8, new business. A, discussion and/or decision of RFPs received for the Majala Riprap project. We have only one bid that we received. I'm not sure I like these new envelopes. But you don't have to lick them. We have one bid received. This is a project that we've been looking at for quite a long time. This bid is from Forest Landscaping. Gravel and shouldering work for complete installation of 3/4 inch lime rock or 3/4 inch asphalt millings per request. What's this?
That's the gravel work. He put both in there.
Oh,
He told
I
him
don't
to
wanna do
email
that.
that part of it to us, which he did that later that day.
Okay, so then here's the riprap.
There you go.
Majala Shores, install riprap project per design, 11719. Removal of some trees will be required for machine access. The bid is, let's see, equipment and mobilization included, tree removal included, excavation, $3,000, field stone and natural stone, $5,550, geofabric, $960, seating, EMAT restoration, $2,000. I guess I gotta total it up, eh?
Isn't it there?
Where is it?
No? Wait, no?
I've got 9,710.
$9,710 even.
I will double check that as you discuss.
Use your phone. All right, we only have one bid. We are eligible for cost sharing on this project through the county, although it will be 50% cost sharing, and we are also need to take whatever bid we want, but if we take a lower bid, we will pay the difference. But since we only have one bid,
11,510.
11,510.
Shouldn't do math on the fly.
Right, split that in half. 6,
But no, do we have to front the money and then we get reimbursed?
yes,
57.50, 57.55,
yeah.
right?
Yes, 5,755.
So what is your pleasure, gentlemen?
What's the only bid we got? I guess I'd make a motion to accept Forrest's bid for the rip wrapping for a total of $11,510, not to exceed.
I will second that.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of approving this bid, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and all opposed, the same sign.
Getting windy out.
Yes, it is.
Please send notification of award if accepted by 11/11/20.
Okay, so we'll need a signature on there, and I'll scan it and email it to him, and I'll copy you guys in on it too, so you have a copy.
Does he does say it's per the design, correct? He did say that.
Yes,
All right.
and he has Ryan's number in there.
We already have a certificate of insurance for him for
Yeah.
everything he does, so it helps.
All right. You'll probably want a different copy, but we'll deal with that after the meeting, all right?
Okay.
Thank you for your support to get that out and get that taken care of. I'll be working with my neighbors and with Wes on that, and I think I put in the contract that I would like to have it done by May 30th, so if he doesn't get to it this year. Did I read this totally, that he is responsible for removing the trees? Okay. Okay, item B, discussion and/or decision of the town fee schedule, including building permit fee schedule.
Chris came because we wanted to talk to him about the building permit fees to start with. So I don't know if you want to start with that so he can explain what the plan was, our ideas.
Yeah, so reason we brought this up is because at budget time, we had a revenue of collected $28,298.54 for building permits, and we paid out $31,808. Plus there's an occupancy bond of $400. So we're in a hole, a loss of about $4,000 on our building permits issuing. So I kind of wondered why, we shouldn't be in the red on building permits. We're paying,
Yeah, and part of it is that offset of the 1 month with revenue, then paying a month. So it's a little,
yeah, it might be
Yeah, it's
some, yeah, we
little
still
bit
got
of
a
that.
couple months going. But still, it's kind of,
it's
nick and tuck here.
close.
So I guess, I don't know how the other municipalities do it, but do they break even or lose money, or do they make money on it?
Well, that's a good question.
Okay.
Not quite sure how the other municipalities do on it, but we can adjust. So there's a couple options you have. You can do an administrative fee on every permit. You can adopt a new fee schedule. So with a different fee schedule that I gave to Rob, and it gives you maybe an 80-20 split. So instead of right now, you're at 90-10 for all permits. So this would be an 80-20, 20% of these fees. It is a higher fee schedule, which allows for more money would be coming in, which would allow us to adjust our fee split. Otherwise, if you don't want to touch that and you don't want to touch the contract for the fee split, then you could always do an administrative fee.
So this is a new fee schedule? So there's changes in here? I didn't have anything to compare it to, I guess.
Right,
So,
yeah. That's a lot of these have increases to them so that you
Yeah,
could
these
do
are-
the 80-20 split.
Okay.
These are increases that allow us to adjust the percentage to increase more percentage for the town of Lake Mills. So that's an option. I mean, I'm not looking for a pay raise. We were happy with the previous fee schedule that we worked out, so I'm just trying to help you guys try to adjust your budget. This is one option for increasing revenue in your budget
Right,
for permits.
that's what we want to do.
Well, we felt in our budget discussion that we are in need of updating our fee schedule no matter what. So we're gonna work on that.
This is
Make
just
sure we
one-
got everything in there.
This is one component of it that
Yes.
directly affects how he functions, so we have to
Well, to get this for discussion, I'll make a motion to approve the new fee schedule as presented here with the new contract of an 80%, 20% split.
Second.
All right,
I mean, can we talk about-
is there any discussion?
We will when we're done with the building.
When would this take effect? January 1st?
I could put this in effect December 1st or January 1st, whenever you would like it.
December 1st. We'll start right away.
All right, any other questions or discussion?
So again, this schedule reflects the increase to cover the 80/20. This schedule.
Yep.
Do
So you're gonna see, you're gonna get 20% of all revenue collected. And then it's also a bump up in the fee schedule, so not only you get 20%, you're gonna get an additional, you're gonna get an increased amount. So hopefully, whatever shortfalls you're having.
Are covered. Now, do we need to sign a new contract because of that new split?
Yeah, so what'll happen is, I will definitely get you a contract. And this is adopted, so.
Okay. So we're technically approved that new contract with the motion that he just made.
And I don't think I need to review that contract, so I mean, but I will definitely get your contract and then.
Yeah, you can just sign it.
Wonderful.
Okay. Just want to make sure we're on the same page with that.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, Chris. Thanks for doing all that work.
Yeah, you're welcome, thank you.
Oh, I do it before you leave, as long as you're here. This address, the W, what did I just say? That one where we had the culvert, the,
W8311 bridle
That's
path.
a driveway situation?
yes, with the, put that concrete culvert in there in the easement and covered it up with dirt and got all this. Just one thing before you give them back an occupancy, their occupancy check,
Okay.
release that. I want someone here to sign off on that the grading's done right. Right now, I was up there today again, and it's not graded. I know they're not done, but before they get their money back,
So you'll communicate.
Okay.
and they're also supposed to put a grate over the
Beautiful.
open end of that culvert, so no kids can climb in there and get
You,
stuck.
you have a copy of the letter we sent them.
Who's gonna do that final approval of that?
So I think we probably have our town engineer do it.
Okay.
So what I'll do is, I'll wait till they request a final occupancy. And then at that point in time.
Give us the heads up.
Yep, and depending what the weather's like, they may not have it seeded or whatever, so we'll hold off on that bond, and
Yep.
I'll let them know that and say, hey, this is what's going on with your bond, you're gonna have to wait until we get final approval for the culvert.
Right.
Okay?
Okay, good.
Thank
Thank you for bringing that up.
It is an 18-inch culvert, by the way. I crawled in and measured it.
Fun times in the town board.
Hopefully you're
No,
like.
Thank you, Chris. I think we-
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, me too.
before we go too far into the fee schedule, I know Sharon did some research on the dog licenses before we forget.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, I called the Humane Society, and in the county, for a dog that is intact, it's anywhere from $10 to $15. And for an altered dog, it's anywhere from $5 to $10. We're currently, for an altered dog, at $6, and an intact dog, we're at $11.
So I think we should go to 15 and we ought to go to 10, maybe 12.
The reason why we want to get this in place too, because we have that tax letter that's going
Yes,
out.
Oh,
yes.
right.
So we kind of have to decide on what we're going to do with that soon, like tonight. Or it waits a year.
Yeah,
No one want to wait. And the penalty is still $25 flat, right?
yeah, there's a $5 late fee, which is all that you can charge, but then we have a $25 handling fee when we have to send letters and,
I would make a motion to raise the dog licensing fee to an unaltered dog at $15 and an altered dog at $10.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of this increase in dog licensing fees, please say aye.
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 There was a discussion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The requirement for the rabies vaccinations, if that could be updated, because nowadays we get 3-year vaccinations, and having to go and get the same piece of paper again, I don't mind paying the fee for it, I just, the rigmarole of sending the same piece of paper that says, for the next 3 years. If that included as part of the updated fees, it's a streamlined process. Maybe have a.
I still think we're gonna need to have a copy of that. I think
Yeah.
it's under the state statute. You know, we wouldn't do these dog licenses if we had a choice, because it's just a pain, but it's a state statute that we as the local unit of government are in charge of this.
You know, you can make it a 3-year and charge us 30, and
I don't think we can, I think it's
No, I
annually
think that's
per
all
state
governed by
statute.
state statute.
Yeah, and you can't send me $30 and then I'm gonna do it for 3 years, because I only have 1 year at a time. to
Yeah.
do it. Yeah.
And it's a real lot of rigmarole for everybody. It's a lot.
If it was our ordinance, it'd probably be more flexible, but it's a state, so we have to do it annually because it's a
So
state.
my suggestion is when you go to the vet, make 3 copies, put them in your file, then they'll be there.
Date them so you know when to send them, yeah.
Nice to have a little input on it though.
One other suggestion, in the town in general, is having the forms available to complete online versus, because then that would save, processing time, and you could pay with a check kind of thing. And that would just an opportunity for an improvement.
We would have to have that structure put onto our website, and then we'd have to have a separate account in order to secure those funds, because it's not our funds, we have to somehow have a very transparent way of accounting for those.
And secure and all that.
Yeah, so that's not something we've explored as far as online payments, because it's another financial,
Yeah.
This time of COVID and.
yeah.
And many people don't even know what paper money is. So.
We do have reminders on our website though about dog licensing, so.
Forms, yeah, that's not.
Forms and
Just
permits. Paying online is what you're looking at.
Yeah. And that becomes very cumbersome for us, so.
For the reconciling part, it's a
Yeah.
little, there's a few extra steps to it. I've done it for a different municipality, and it's a little more complex.
Somebody should on the right side.
We
Okay.
went over this fee schedule, the rest of it, last year, right? So
Yes.
It's pretty much, those are the only 2 things we needed to change.
It's using yellow, why?
Yeah,
why is
everything
it
else I think we've,
Yellow.
Well, the raising permit is in yellow because I thought we should raise it.
Okay, well, as long as we're on the subject then.
Yeah.
I pulled out the raising ordinance and, we just had this house come down in our neighborhood and I said, where's the raising permit to Chris, Well, he didn't issue it. He somehow said that was my responsibility. Well, that's not how the ordinance reads. The ordinance reads that he's in charge. And I think we need to have more money.
so the building inspector issues the raise permit.
Work done under raise order or demolition, raise order permit is subject to inspection by the designated building inspector or designated inspector who shall have authority to order corrective work. The ordinance shall be administered by the designated building inspector of the town of Lake Mills.
So,
This really was designed to create some revenue and to, when something comes down, that we know where the waste is going and we have a way of understanding what is going to happen. I had no idea this house was coming down. I got a gas permit for it, for an alteration in the gas line, but I had no idea until the day that the house was coming down.
he's got a fee on here, raising 5 cents per square foot,
Yeah.
$70 minimum. So it's on his schedule,
Okay,
so
so should we then
Then we need to
scratch
change-
it
Either
from
gonna-
ours, from the separate part of it, and keep it strictly on the building inspection fee schedule?
could put a note here on our, unless you wanted more, then he'd have to raise his tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we gotta get them both the same. So if you want us to say C
See building code fees.
building code schedule, right there.
And I think going by square foot makes sense because,
There's a minimum of $70,
Yeah,
so that's 20 more than you got here already.
doesn't happen very often, but I still
You
like
want
the
a
idea.
minimum of 100?
Yeah.
Well then, ask
see if he
him,
can update that to
Yeah.
100? Okay,
minimum.
minimum,
And if we need to give him a copy of this ordinance, I got it with me.
okay.
And then we'll change ours to just see the building schedule,
See the building
or
schedule.
whatever it's called.
Do you guys,
Building permit schedule.
do you guys want to spend any more time going through the fee schedule?
No, we did this.
We
last
did
year.
Yeah, I think we did last year, there wasn't much more we could,
What, right, we tried some things and we were told we couldn't, so.
Okay,
so do we need a motion to, it's, then we're gonna be amending the previous motion we did for the building permit fees, because we approved that along with the change in the contract. Just a little bit ago when Chris was here.
yeah.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the building permit fee with the change to make the raising fee a minimum of $100.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of approving the motion, please say aye. Aye, and all opposed, the same sign.
Did
The
we have
motion is passed.
a motion on the dog license? You did that? You called for a vote?
I don't think so.
I don't think we had a vote.
Right, I don't think we did.
Okay, so, all in favor of approving the increase in fees to the dog licensing, please say aye.
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 And all opposed, the same sign.
Do we have another one? Is that it?
No, because we
I
got
think
the
that's it.
80/20, we did
Yeah.
that, all
I
right.
got that.
Okay, anything else you want to talk about? All right, moving on. Item C, discussion and/or decision of buoy contract with Joe Cooper and work to be done on the town buoys. You saw his proposal,
Yeah, I don't understand his math, but whatever.
the man.
Let's go with this fees on the replacement of the buoys. How does he get two buoys at $141.75 to be $424.25? How does that work?
That doesn't work.
Look, he did update his Excel spreadsheet, so.
And then the next one, the same thing?
Same thing.
So I don't know how he came up with $3,021.
Okay, let's ask him to go back to the drawing board. We got some time here, right?
I don't have a problem with him. I know what these buoys are like. I
Yeah.
did it for a lot of years and they're a disaster. And every year you do have to fix them. So I don't have a problem with him doing the work.
We'll just ask him to update his proposal.
Yeah, get the right numbers in there. And then how much, this is over and above his contract, right?
Yes,
What is his contract?
$5,000.
5,000. Okay, and this money would come out of the Rock Lake
Rock Lake account.
boat launch fees, right?
Yes.
Every year. Okay,
All right, I will
So
speak to
table
him. We get his numbers straight. All right, so no decision on that. Item D, discussion or decision of assessment service contract with Equity Appraisals. We had this in our packet last month. I don't know where it went.
$13,000. Maintenance, right?
Yeah,
I'd make a motion to approve the new contract with the town assessor for $13,000 annual maintenance fee.
Second.
is there any discussion on that? I did get a copy, I'm sure you did too, Robin, of non-compliance.
Yeah, but the, I
Happy
think
we
you
had
probably
done
nailed
it.
it. Yeah, it's because we were so late in the year finishing our assessment.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. The assessment contract is approved. Item E, discussion or decision of animal control contract with the Humane Society of Jefferson County. Again, we have, I didn't bring it. A contract,
For 2021 would be $479.57 monthly, or an annual fee, which is what we've been paying, of $5,754.84.
and again, if we pay in January, we get a discount.
Right, another discount, so the total would be $5,668.52.
I would motion to approve the contract with the Jefferson County Humane Society and making that payment in January.
Second the motion.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the contract, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same sign. Thank you very much. Item F, discussion and/or decision of the EMS service agreement or contract establishment with Lake Mills EMS.
And I think he got called out on that.
Yeah, I think he got called out, Dave got called out. He has written us a letter. It's budget time again. This year, our rate will remain at $7 per capita. The census figure I have for the town of Lake Mills is 1,928, which is a total of $13,496 for annual service.
Yeah.
And the date is wrong on here.
Right.
Remit this amount by June 30th of 2021.
Right. Now, this is the only thing we have with them. We don't have any type of contract or
I know.
agreement or anything. And I did discuss this a little bit with Dave, because I asked him to at least send me an invoice or something a little more formal. It sounds like they are open to doing a contract and maybe getting an operations plan in place. With some of the joint issues that we were discussing at the fire department meeting, maybe getting some things, some cooperation things worked into that. So,
Well, we just need to pay him by,
yeah,
before June 30th. So in May, you write him a check.
right.
Put
This
that in
was
note.
kind of just a placeholder for this topic, but he does want to look at getting some type of contract
Oh, he
in
does?
place. Yes.
Okay. I'd make a motion to approve the fee of $13,496 for the Lake Mills EMS service.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of approving the contract, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And all opposed, the same sign. The contract is approved. Item G, and I will hold my breath to see that contract come through, all right? G, discussion of and/or decision of the state trust fund loan for refinancing for the 2021 to a 3-year loan.
Okay, so I gave you 2 copies of what the application looks like to get this refinancing done. That's what I will send in. Obviously, the amount for the $360,000, that's a refinance for that amount we've already spent. So as far as the estimated date when funds are needed, that's, it doesn't apply. But I do need to have an idea when you guys are planning on using the $90,000, which is the obligation that we have to take out for the refinance to do that secondary loan, that $90,000. Any ideas?
Well, you're refinancing for the full amount now, right?
Correct.
I mean, you already have a 2-year on the 360.
And we're refinancing all that to 3 years.
Correct. To be
Yes.
due, final payment to be due in March of 2023. So, you borrowed $360,000 in March of 19. You're gonna borrow another $90,000 because we can't meet that payment. In order to do it, we have to spread it out until 2023, so we have to borrow another $90,000, which is required by the state trust fund loan. We're gonna borrow that in March, or this 2021, by March. So we'll have $450,000 borrowed, due in March of 2023, and I project that interest is gonna be $35,295, somewhere around there, for 3.75% for 4 years. Because you started in 2019, I'm sure that's gonna be back there for 4 years. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's gonna work. For a total of $485,295 due March of 2023, which leaves, of that 90,000, only $54,705 to spend between sometime before 2023.
The one thing we can do is we can ask them to do an early payment, and we've done this with all those, that past loan when we did the dredging. We do a letter asking them to do an early payment to do a portion of that. That will cut back on some of that interest.
Right, okay.
So something to think about, but we have to have a timeline, a plan on when we want to do that. If we want to do that first payment of $150,000 that we get through our tax levy in March of 2021, because I need to send them a letter at least a month in advance that we're going to be doing that payment. Or do you want to wait till 2022 to do that first payment?
No,
We want to
pay
pay
it
it.
off right away.
Pay it.
But we-
Right away, as soon as we get this in place, we're going to do that letter requesting for early payment.
So let's write that when we send this back in. Let's
Yep.
make it happen.
Okay.
So just remember though, that 54,000 is, about 55,000 is what we can use of that
Yeah.
90,000, no more.
Due to the-
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And that can be used whenever,
Next year.
between 20,
Yeah.
before 2023. Yeah, next year right away, I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we have a motion on the floor?
I make a motion to borrow, to refinance the 360,000 and then borrow an additional 90,000 to be due in 2023.
Second.
Is there any more discussion?
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of keep this on our agenda, if that's okay, so
Yeah.
we keep this in place.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to miss our
That's right.
January deadline, right?
No, we do not.
Yep.
Okay, and then you're gonna draft a letter to go along with that, requesting that we make a payment in March.
Payment, yep.
All right.
Can you redo this part to the right date, 2023?
Oh, did I miss that? I'm sorry. Okay. It was a
So we
quick.
never, don't forget that.
Okay. Moving on. Item H, discussion or decision of a speeding issue on Woodfield Lane. I'm assuming that the residents of Woodfield Lane are here for this reason.
Thank you for waiting.
Why don't you guys tell us who you are, since not everybody knows who you are, and what your concerns are and what we can do.
So Lynn and John Kerr, we live on M6710, which, so we're not on a stoplight, but we have our neighbors, the Hansons, who have been in front of committee many times talking about that stop sign, and Chief certainly knows about that too. People do Hollywood stops all the time. Sometimes the speed, so there's stopping issues, not only on Woodfield, but coming off of Stockbridge as well. People often use Woodfield as a cut through off of Sherwood Hills, so that and speeds well in excess of, well, we don't know, obviously we don't have radar guns, but you can tell it's not 25, which should be the speed limit.
I should be able to,
And so John is visually impaired, and we walk the dog, and sometimes, that can be really dangerous,
but the biggest concern is we have lots of young children
Lots of
in
kids.
the neighborhood,
yeah.
and there's no being around that if somebody gets killed or grievously injured due to speeder, for the number of stops that are done where they get citations, that's great, but it's the deterrent long-term rather than having to go to a kid's wake. That, we don't have young kids, it's not, I think if anyone ever hits me with a car, they'll know what it's like to have a big lump. But,
Don't mean to laugh, good one.
there's intentionally humor.
Yeah.
It's a serious issue, and it's got to be very difficult to control. We know that when the chief has somebody in the area, everybody's under best behavior, but with the number of hours that you can be there, that's one, and two, with the stretches from Sherwood to Stockbridge and then Stockbridge back to Sherwood. I have cars when I'm walking the dog that'll pass me one direction before I'm even all the way back, they're going the other direction. Don't know where they're going, but they're going quickly. So the permanent or long-term deterrents, thinking through, well, speed bumps, the snowplow, flashing lights in this, like they have on Sherwood Hills. So the rumble strip idea, or the indentation in the road, which brings up the idea of the cattle grate snow to fall through, the plow wouldn't hit it, but it would give drivers that, you're gonna pancake your car if you're going too quickly, then should get their attention, looking for something, because we can't do the speed bumps like Madison. But before somebody gets hurt, when we lived 3 villages back, it was a village of like 55,000 people. They moaned and groaned about the cost, but then when some girl that was late for soccer practice at the local high school crossed the state highway at a funeral, then they just had to put a pedestrian overpass. Not asking for that, but I don't want to ever have to go, didn't do anything. I don't, no offense, and we have our back, we got the badge for those folks on woodfield. It's just a difficult stretch to patrol, keep the speed down.
Yeah.
When you're present, people behave, but
And I'm sure it must be also difficult with the big pine that's on that corner.
but yeah, whether we're going towards Sherwood Hills, to the left or to the right, both stretches, so looking for possibilities, and we get calibrate. It's not designed for slowing traffic, but would be something that would give a bit of it can go a rumble strip, but they have Mount West, you roll across them, you know you rolled across them, it's something that they're in the good weather. Just trying to come up with something, think outside the box, protect the kids.
I would say from my experience as a dweller off of Shorewood Hills Road, I have trained myself to basically take a left and not drive Shorewood Hills Road. I go directly to the county road. But I see the same thing that you do. I see people blowing the stop signs on Shorewood Meadows. I see many people going way too fast. Many people on my road going way too fast. And we have all kinds of walkers, joggers, dog walkers, and bikers on Cedar Lane coming directly out of the park, and it is a problem. I have trained myself to stop at the end of my driveway and look and listen to make sure that my neighbors are not zooming over the hill, and or a dump truck like I almost came right into last week. So I don't know how to change this. I see one of the main violators are contractors, people that are doing service work, mowing lawns, fixing plumbing. I'm not putting anything finger on anybody, but it's really difficult to govern them. And I think Matt has the same frustration that I do, that we can't be there all the time.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
The ghost of Christmas past just came in.
The second time.
I
He left now.
I don't know a lot about speed control devices. I certainly can go to the county and ask some of those questions. The county and our town's engineer would advise us on those kinds of things. I don't know. You guys have any other creative ideas?
I hear what you're saying about rumble strips and all that, but I think of when I come down Highway G up to Highway 18, and those babies really rumble. And Highway 89 on the 18. So I think that would be, noise would not be friendly for a quiet neighborhood. So, but I know what you're talking about, but
Right,
I
so
don't know.
the in-between point was, I sent a picture in of a cattle grate, because it came to mind during the discussion with someone. It's not gonna be as noisy as a rumble strip. Have talked with our neighbors about this idea and go and get it in the quietest place. But basically some places you're gonna pancake your car.
Right.
Potentially, you may not care about, you may be, I'm running late for work, I'm running late to deliver a package, I'm running late to go mow a lawn. I don't want to damage my car. That gets people's attention. If we have a straight shot road, I know from the time I was a boy, you go to Baraboo and the road to Douglas Lake out of town, everybody slows down right on the hill, but you got a clean line of sight. So, Woodfield Lane is just a lot of curves.
Yep.
So not as noisy as a rumble strip, but 4 or 5 steel roller bars that would let snow fall through, would not impede the snowplow blade. Give a little bit of a dip and that, I'm just, like you said, if you can pursue this with, was it Northwestern University and their Traffic Safety Institute in Illinois, or
There's plenty of resource for us. That is not a problem. So I think we can safely say that we can do some research work on this. You know, I don't know if you guys know this, but I was asked in that neighborhood to provide a sign for a deaf child. And when I pursued this idea with the county, who does all of our signage, they informed me that they don't do that anymore. That is not a recommended practice, that it gives people a
false sense of security.
false sense of security.
That's why I never got a visually impaired sign.
And that's what I was thinking about with you. I wouldn't want to start that. I don't think that people look at those signs to begin with.
Because they're on their. No, I gotta reload.
But I think your comments are good. I think we can do some more research. I think Matt is hearing you. He'll have his guys out there. And like you said, everyone behaves really great when the cops are there. But if we step up to the patrol, that's about all we can do right now.
Yeah, we much appreciate our police, so.
You guys want to give me a contact phone number before you leave so that or an email so that we can communicate?
Sure.
I've got their email. I don't know if your phone number's on there, but.
Well, we can do the email thing. That's great. That's probably better. All right, well, we appreciate you sitting through our meeting and bringing this concern because it is a total concern of mine too, you know. I kind of live in fear of, I don't know, you drive down Cedar Lane, you can't see anything and you may get right at the bottom of the hill and there might be a 10-foot truck in front of you. And thank God there isn't a lot of brush and stuff in the roadside because I've had to pull off to avoid people. And like I said, I try to train myself, but I don't think anybody else does.
We'll continue to use squeaky wheel covers.
There you go. Do whatever you can to discourage through traffic. If you make it ugly enough, they'll go the other way, right?
I don't know what the desire is to go from Shorewood Meadows all the way through Shorewood Hills to get back to the highway when you could go out to the county road and go just as fast as you want. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item I, discussion or decision of approving the 2021 town budget.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2021 town budget.
I will second it.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. Thank you for your attendance at the meeting and for the work we put in on the budget. Item 9, old business. Discussion of updates for town hall properties proposal.
I haven't seen anything, so.
You did reach out to a realtor. Have you heard anything?
Not a thing from
Can
them.
you stir the river a little?
Can try. I did forward you Rudabush's
Yes.
contact as well. They're also brokers.
Oh, they are? Okay.
So maybe that's a resource too.
Just to bring everybody up to speed, you know, we've had an offer on our town hall. There is someone who is interested in using this site as a development, and we were in a discussion with them at our last meeting and felt that we should just tell them to go away at this point in time until we have some more information on what our property might be valued at. And also we felt that we needed to do some kind of a facility study. And so our town's engineer has, Robin made a suggestion of the you tell me again.
Rudabush.
Rudabush.
Mike Rudabush used to live in the town, but he and I believe his dad and maybe a brother or something own a large company in Madison that do development and commercial spaces and such. So thought it might be a good resource, because he's
Well-
familiar with the town, he knows kind of
And
what our
Corey
level
had a
is.
suggestion too. He has an architect that he has worked with before, and he thought that he could set up a no-cost Zoom meeting for us to speak with that architect. And I asked him yesterday if he would come with a couple of
RFP.
dates
Okay.
so that we could just begin an initial discussion.
It was Prairie something, wasn't it, the name
Well,
of
their
it?
Prairie Land Services is another deal, but that's
Okay.
different. And we could approach Prairie Land Services. They would, they do acquiring easements and stuff like that for projects. We could go to them and ask for some help with evaluation. Jason did reach out and Mr. Forrest sent us an email about the property and asked a few questions, and then we basically said, you know, we're still going to continue to discuss it, but he would like to circle back the first of the year. I don't think our attitude towards the value of this property is going to change. But I do think we need to kind of look at what we might decide to do and at least get a feel for it. So would you guys be up for a Zoom meeting? You got the corn picked?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
And we could set that up?
do a Zoom meeting where, I know you have internet, or you don't have internet at home, so we could do a Zoom meeting here with them remotely. Might be easier for everyone,
Yeah, okay.
so.
Well, I'd like to get that rolling. Don't you think that's a good way to go about it? Do you want to reach out to those people and
I
see
can.
just ask them what services? From what Corey said, architects are interested in working with you at the very beginning with the idea that in the end, they would get the design work.
Right,
So I think we should capitalize on that.
okay.
Because in the end, we'll have to have a decent design
Yep.
if we live that long.
I know, for the role that I play here, I have been starting a needs list of what I know, especially for election security reasons, since it's fresh on my mind, obviously. Space for elections, things like that, so I
And I-
started my needs list.
If you could do that too, Matt, sit down and write what your space needs are and what you would, in your ideal world, would love to have for security.
You have to think about what you need for storage size.
Yeah, that's part of record keeping with my role with things.
Right,
so.
yeah.
Yes,
Lots of
go ahead.
brooms and buckets and-
Oh, what you were saying before, Robin, about the potential for drive-through voting, and there might be drive-through police services, is there, that maybe put that on the needs?
Right, that's kind of an up-and-coming service for elections that we do need to consider for handicap accessibility, things like that, so.
Drive-through COVID testing?
Let's hope that's not needed too far
Well,
in
that would
the
be
future.
something that an architect would be sharp on and would know, you know, in a commercial or a facility like this. You know, we're just dreaming. We have no idea whether we can afford to do it or not. We just felt like we should explore these options now that this offer is on the table for us.
I do have to say that after that election, and you and I talked a little bit about it, we had 869 people that did absentee voting. Of 1,500, probably close to 1,600 now registered voters, because we had several on election day register. If we had everybody in person, or a good portion of them in person for a large election like that, this would be a disaster.
Well,
We
this
luck-
room, yeah.
Yeah, in this room, it would be an absolute disaster
Yeah.
because people would be lined up down and around the block.
Yeah.
So we have to think about some needs for space or some solutions to,
Well, and maybe our state is going to come up with some solutions too. One day at a time. We got through the last big one.
that is gonna repeat.
Just have
I
a couple
think.
next year. Won't be as contentious, all right. So that's kind of where we're at with the town hall. Item B, discussion of the 6-year road plan with the town engineer, including discussion of grant funding for Crossman and Rock Lake Road and the fall road tour information. I don't know if we really need to beat that around tonight.
Sure.
No, we're just moving ahead with Crossman.
But we keep adding these dates here, you know, in our road planning.
Well, and I wanted to give you that updated road budget too, so you kind of knew where things were at. I don't know what the gravel projects, what's going on with that, or,
Yeah, well, here we
Figure
are.
that out tonight.
Here we are, we're gonna figure it out.
Is Corey working a little bit on the Cross Monroe project now?
Yes, he has communicated to me that he is setting up a schedule for the beginning initial survey.
Okay.
And that'll happen within the next 2 or 3 weeks when there's no
Did
snow.
he talk with Daybreak's engineer and
Yes.
gather some of their
Yes.
information that they already had, so they're not reinventing the wheel?
Yes. So that he's on the go with that.
Okay.
I think the only thing that, well, a concern with me is that Rock Lake Road, and we gotta sit down and figure that out sometime, and when we're gonna do that, if you think we can afford to do that or whatever, but, you know, we won't have any money until 2023, and,
Right.
no, actually 2024, because that last 150,000 comes out of the 2023 to pay this loan. So I don't know how we're gonna ever do that whole, that's 190, that's $200,000.
I don't know.
I just, anyway, maybe we only do part of that road. When you do the bridge, we
Or
just
you
do
just,
from,
give them back their $180,000 and it's not the worst road we got. The
No,
only
it's
reason
not.
we were gonna do it was because we were gonna be doing that bridge.
yeah, I know.
You know, and the road would be closed anyway, and that, I think now has been moved to 25, so.
Yeah, so that's another issue. So I don't know, we maybe want to talk about that a little more and maybe think about returning their money or not taking it.
should that be on December?
Yes, we better talk about that in December.
The intersection is definitely kind of messy.
The intersection is just like the intersection on Crossman.
Yeah.
And that was one of the impetus for getting the grant, so.
Oh, okay.
Well, I thought we determined last month that we could swing both projects.
Well, maybe we need to talk a little more in December about it.
All right, let's do that. Discussion and/or decision on the establishment of homeowners association for Shorewood Hills North subdivision. Again, Corey is working on a letter to be sent to the homeowners. We need to assemble a list of addresses for those homeowners so that when that letter gets approved, we can do it, and I will refer all of that to our attorney. I was thinking, is there any way we could send that all in the tax bills? Or do we really have
I
to
don't know, I think it should be
have
a
to do it
standalone,
separately?
just because it's not gonna grab their attention.
Okay. All right, and I guess timing is of the essence in that too. So no real update on that right now. Item D, discussion and/or decision of gravel and grading bids for Bean Lake Road, Schollmeyer Lane, Alley Road, London Road, and Conservation Road, and other general road maintenance. Reached out and solicited some bids from the county. Also have a bid from Forest.
Is that all he says, what he said on his email?
Yeah.
Just a paragraph?
Yeah.
The
So
county
we don't
had a
really
broken
know
out
what
one,
he's-
didn't
We
they?
don't really know, and I'm really leery of that.
He's got a $10,478 bid. County's at $28,000, the same work. So I kind of really, I believe the county's bid. I don't believe that.
What's Jason's
And everything's
10,000?
$478.
$10,478 lump cost.
Counties, we don't have a printout, do we?
I had forwarded, I thought I
Oh,
got
I
it.
got it.
What was the total for the,
County was 28.5,
okay.
and we have banked 15.
No, we got more than that. Robin's at
I
23.
just sent it.
He's at 23,
Where did I find it?
No, I just got that, pulled that
I
off.
just sent that,
right here.
Did I add too much in there yet?
No, I think
Well,
you're
that's in
right.
your budget.
2020,
Oh, yeah,
we have
25, the highway matches.
25,333.
I don't believe that.
I would go by what the county's
They
letter
just sent
says.
us.
Did
Alice
we-
just sent
Oh,
this.
she just sent that? Oh, okay. All right.
It would be nice.
Should be a lot
Do we
better.
not
Okay, got
get,
your phone out and make this calculation, please.
How much it is?
Yes.
oh, see, that's got the town and the county match in there, both.
Oh.
That's probably why it's a
Oh,
higher
so
amount,
this
sorry.
is just the county, okay. This is,
That, the 15,000 is the credit we have at the county.
And we did receive
that's
bills. What do you got?
Last,
13,342.
We did receive a bill for the pothole patching that has been done this fall from Northwest Services to the tune of $6,243.83.
and that's not.
That is
in
not
this-
on this month's bill paying because the invoice was received late. So where are we?
Well, you're gonna pay that in December though.
Right,
Yes,
Okay.
I wanted to make sure, because we just got it yesterday.
yes.
And we won't have any snow plowing done bills.
No
this
bills
year.
this year, other
So
than
you got another
salt costs.
19,000.
We do have 2 loads of salt that have already come, and they are in this budget number, so they're already accounted for, because they were on this month's disbursement sheet.
So we still have
$19,026 in snow plowing,
and,
plus 15,000 from the
Right.
county. So you'll make the 28,000. That's 34,000. So you could do the county's work.
well, that's what I'd like to do.
I would too.
And use up the credit that we
Yeah.
have there.
Use up our credit because we'll never have them cooperate again. What do you think,
Is
Dave?
it,
Yeah, that sounds fine to me.
is the counties, I know they always did,
Interest.
the counties always did estimates in the past.
Yeah,
Is
well-
that what it says again?
Well,
Is
it
this an
doesn't say that,
estimate?
but it'll be covered before this deal is over. Okay? And the
That was
fact that we
always-
can use this money, that will be covered too when I speak with him. All right, so I will make a motion to accept the county's bid for $28,500 to do the roads that are listed, and that we will apply the credit we have at the county of $15,158 to that, leaving us a balance of $13,342. That's my motion.
I will second it.
Are we keeping up? Sorry. Is there any more discussion? There's one thing I would like to have a little help with. I looked at all the signage on Schollmeyer Road. There was one directional sign that was down. There was another directional sign that's faded. There's another wonky sign or two down there. I asked if we could just remove all the signage, and the county said we should probably not do that for liability reasons.
That's just on Schollmeyer, serviced by basically one house, right?
One house.
Right, one house,
It's like their driveway.
Yeah.
through road.
I'm gonna ask the question if we could replace those double signs that do this with just a night arrow.
I think you should take them out.
I'm with you, Dave. I don't think we need them, but should we just let them be the way they are, unreflected and in bad shape?
Pick up the one that fell down.
Yeah, that's a better idea, just leave them.
Okay, that was
They
easy.
look as good as some of the other town roads.
They look better than some other townships.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to accept this gravel and grading bid. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, the same sign, thank you. Item E, okay, sorry, John.
Oh, so when you mentioned the signs, the Canton stop sign at the eastbound Stockbridge in Woodfield, it's been like this for,
Okay,
it's
broke. All right.
Maybe once the snow starts, it'll start to shift back this way.
Depends how many times it's hit.
For a little while.
I can't tell you the amount of time I've spent looking at faded street signs and bent stop signs. And if you do see damage or anything to a sign, please report it because it's easily corrected, so.
Reported to Chief Miller or?
Report it to anyone here, just send a comment to the town's website and then we'll know. Because my eyes sometimes just don't go everywhere. I'm busy looking at my phone. Just kidding. All right, moving on. Item E, discussion or decision of a letter of support for the Cambridge EMS full paramedic services. I just put that in your pew to move, to mail tomorrow, so that is
Okay.
complete. Item F, discussion or decision of one of the following options regarding the Cambridge Area Fire and EMS Station addition starting in the spring of '22. Have an advisory referendum in the spring of '21.
No,
No.
no.
Pass a resolution that the municipality intends to borrow up to a specific amount of the total cost of the station addition equivalent to the percentage the town is responsible for based on area served on a note of 10 years or less with a possible balloon payment at the end. This, what does NB mean? This does not need to have a petition period. NB means what? On the back.
That was all part of whatever they had sent
Yeah.
via email to me. I just copied and pasted,
Okay,
so I'm not
all
sure
right.
what that means. Maybe.
Non-binding.
Oh, there you go.
You're
I
right.
think going
You
on.
got it! Teacher scores
go.
a point.
Yes, you paid attention.
Well, I guess we talked about this a little earlier. I guess we're not all that convinced that we as a town should be borrowing that money. We would much rather have the Cambridge Fire Commission purchase that money and send us a bill.
I will talk to them. We, like I said, we do have a meeting, I believe it's the third Wednesday of this month. And I will, we'll talk about it.
And by consensus, we just said that we are not in favor of an advisory referendum,
No, I'd do a resolution.
A
a
resolution.
resolution, and would we want to put this on our spring annual meeting agenda?
No.
I don't think if you
No.
do a resolution, you would need to.
Well,
It's-
resolution.
We're just purchasing service. We're not, you know, and we do have to have service,
Yeah,
so it's not required to.
all right, so you can take that message back
I
to
will.
them?
So we'll hold this draft of this resolution until we figure out if they're gonna take the loan out rather than us?
Yeah, we gotta
Yeah,
get
we
more
can wait,
information.
yeah.
Okay,
And if you do, Rob, it's just, you know, on the be it resolved,
right.
where it says the town of Oakwood,
Oh.
you missed just one, no big deal.
Sorry.
But-
Just
So the
hold
next
that
time it
one
comes
for it.
up, it'll be,
Got it.
Put it on December's meeting. Meantime, Dave can talk to,
yep.
he wants to call me, I'll talk to him
All right,
a little bit.
okay,
Gene.
so we'll put that on our December agenda.
Yeah, I'll have
Got
it,
it.
I'll talk
Thank
to you
you.
tomorrow. All right.
Okay, item G, board expense sheet approval. Anybody have, I'm sure you do, Robin.
I do, but I didn't add it up.
All right.
But it's, they're listed on there individually.
Anybody else have anything? Why don't we, while we're passing that around, look at our correspondence?
Other than that grant received, the grant money received, I didn't have anything, everything's just been election, so sorry.
That's okay, great.
More than one day, right?
Item 11, meetings scheduled. December 1st, 2020, Joint Rock Lake Committee at 6 PM via Zoom. Item B, December 1st, 2020, Plan Commission meeting here at 7 PM. And our next annual, or next meeting of the town board will be December 8th at 7 PM. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Meeting is adjourned.